There we go. We're live. Live on Twitch. Yay. Let me fuck around with some stuff for a second. Okay. What's this starting to get? It needs to be on here. Is the rest okay? The rest is good. Okay, change. Okay, good. Oh, it's processing, so I can turn this off. Alright. And whispers for me, no, I'm exiting stuff. Okay, thank you. Alright. Episode 2. Where's my mother? Okay, it's not picking up my. Oh, for fuck's sake, this stupid Windows shit. Every time I put on my controller, I get. What?
Nothing.
I think it's gonna be easier if you just say what you want to say in the Twitch thingy, by the way. Because I'm not gonna be able to hear you that well. Right.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
It's a good call. I'll go there. Right. Wow, we can take 3 manuscripts. Okay. Should probably take 1 in vigilance if I can. Vigilance and psychology. Vigilance. Okay. Any vigilance? Vigilance. No vigilance. Nothing else. Erudition. Erudition. Okay. Any erudition? No. Okay. I think I'm probably gonna take logic. It's already level 1, so I don't really need it. Linguistic would be nice. Conviction would be nice as well, actually. Manipulation, conviction. Did I get anything that did not take it? Yeah, vigilance. Don't have any vigilance, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take conviction. Okay. Start quest. Part 2.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. Unfortunately, I am now confronted with another problem, which I would rather have done without. You see, last night, Miss Adams also went missing.
What's Miss Adams again? Oh yeah, it's a crazy bitch. She hasn't disappeared. I'd like to know more. do I though?
I have had my people searching for her all over the island. Alas, to no avail. It so happens that both her mental and her physical health are extremely fragile. I'm worried that the same thing happened to her as to your mother. Also, I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me what you were doing on the floor in her room in the early hours
It's
of
quite
the
normal.
morning.
I can explain everything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. You see, Sir Gregory is about to arrive, and he's taken Elizabeth's disappearance very, very seriously.
Oh dear.
Please, reassure him so that we can talk about your mother.
Who's Sir Gregory again?
William, I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
The guy with the funky
Let's
white
step
face.
outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
Of course. Search the study. I feel if I search the study, I'm gonna get caught. I'm gonna get caught, aren't I? Oh, it's like so tempting. Yeah, it's so tempting. I feel if I take this, somebody's gonna walk in and is gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing there? I don't trust you anymore. Get the fuck out of here, bitch." Okay, I'm gonna
Better not make myself look more suspicious than I already do.
Yeah. But I think he would have noticed. Like, what's my paper doing?
Good
Slightly
evening,
more to the
Monsieur
left.
de Richet.
Likewise, Sir Gregory.
Well then, let us begin.
Gregory, Louis told me we needn't be concerned.
Of course. Monsieur de...
I just realized what the fuck that noise in the background is. It's the bird. Ah. Did you hear that in the background? Oh, it's that big?
Richet, the situation seems to escape your grasp, so I won't beat about the bush. Did you kill Elizabeth Adams?
Yes, I did. I admit it. Elizabeth is dead. She dead?
What? Elizabeth is dead?
No, now let us remain calm. We do not yet know, Gregory, precisely what has happened to our poor Elizabeth.
I beg your pardon? So what are you accusing me of then?
We must remain calm, Gregory. We have found no evidence that would suggest that Elizabeth has been murdered. For the time being, she has only disappeared. Let's stick to the facts, if you please.
Well, where is she then?
She must have gone home. What does it matter to you? I mean, I can ask her one more question, like with this thing that I'm doing right now, but I feel like, what's the point? Let's see. Ah, so he's immune to this. I'm just gonna say she must have gone home. Maybe other sister. I don't know.
Last night when we talked, she said she felt uncomfortable here and spoke of leaving but didn't say where to.
Knowing Elizabeth, I am sure she must have spoken to you about your mother.
I don't see the connection. What has my mother got to do with this?
Gregory is suggesting he isn't certain that Elizabeth has left the island, and that some misfortune might well have befallen her during the night.
But that's not the case.
Well, that's what you say. You are the last person who saw her alive. There might well be any number of reasons why you wanted her silenced.
No one can substantiate your claim that she left as you said she did, Louis.
Damnation, William. This is a fiasco. Sir, you don't seem to realize just how serious this is.
Let's try and remain calm, Gregory.
No,
In any case, it would be far better if Elizabeth really has left the island, as Louis says. Why do you think she wanted to leave?
think I might as well be honest at this point.
She couldn't bear it anymore. She was becoming hysterical and drinking heavily. She was panic-stricken at the thought of staying here, and I didn't know she wasn't allowed to leave.
It's not that she was a prisoner here, Louis, but Elizabeth is mentally very fragile, and I fear she might do something terrible to herself or others. She wasn't ready, and you have made a grave mistake by encouraging her.
William, don't justify yourself. He won't even answer the question. What is the real reason, Monsieur de Richet? Monsieur de Richet, we have given you every opportunity to reassure us as to the fate of Elizabeth. You have only succeeded in plunging yourself into deeper trouble. I will never rest until we are certain that Elizabeth is indeed alive.
I assure you, my lord.
We are obliged to believe you for the moment. Consequently, I promise in return. If ever we find out that anything has happened to poor Elizabeth, I will see to it that your head will land in a basket. You don't need us for any of this, so come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Am I dead now or something? Or... Game over.
Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She does it often. What was the question? You didn't answer me, Yasmin.
When I first came here, I wasn't that worried. In the past, my mother has taken a few liberties during her missions, including disappearing for several days on end.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
If only my mother trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
It's really testing me, isn't he? If I say this, he's probably gonna think like she's him, discovered something, maybe she lost her mind. Could be.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jersey, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Whitney's cotton gin.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
You just copy-paste that all.
You're speaking of Grigory Alexandrovich Potemkin?
The very man. The little devil behind the mother of all Russians. Since his death, I know absolutely nothing of what the Tsarina is up to.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes. I didn't mean to shock you. Please forgive me. Let's just say that, in my position, it is often advantageous to know about the habits and customs of world leaders.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the Third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Yeah. It's kind of shitty I didn't have it. And I don't know if I can use this if I use the next skill is free, because it's locked. Should be able to, right?
Yes. Okay.
I mean, it's locked because I don't have level 1 erudition. Yeah, whatever, erudition. But I'm thinking if I use this, can I use it? I don't think so.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
8. Louis.
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
Oh, sweet.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you. The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
This is where Marius. It's that's what. Elizabeth Adams. Isn't she gorgeous? It's kind of like detective shit, you know. You have like different peoples, and they all have immunities. So you have this guy, the old guy from now before. It's the dude's mother we're looking for. That's the sexy lady whose sister got killed apparently. We don't know who this guy is. Is this the last guy we're looking for? Oh, yeah, that's the last guy we're waiting for. That's the one we saw in the little clip. That's the guy standing next to us. That's the freaky dude with the whatever. That's the sister then. Oh, there's two of them now. Okay. It's me. That's the Christian guy. Bonaparte. George Washington. And then the servants. I'm guessing I come from here, right? Yeah, okay. Go to the tower room. I don't know what it is. I'm supposed to go down here? No. So it's not this way. It's a beautiful house now. Getting that much.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Wow, fucking game's freezing as shit over here. Okay, so I can go downstairs, and what the fuck am I supposed to do?
President George Washington.
Did you say where I needed to go, or am I just being retarded and I missed it? Probably missed it. I don't know what that is, man. Ah, it's the tower. Okay. Oh, was that like literally in front of me? Oh, fucking hell. Very nice. Very nice.
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is on to us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Man with a sword. Oh, sweet, I got some royal jelly.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. What is this disc?
It's a DVD.
Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic.
Pick it up, maybe. Lodestone. So, how do I do that? My inventory. A round magnet. I'm trying to save a way to communicate something to us. Trust in my fate. In the man with the sword.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
The myth of St. Paul is fun now. Oh man, I need to audition so fucking badly.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Okay. I feel like this is such an important clue in the painting, but I mean, he's not holding a sword, he's holding a spear. So we didn't do not that clever. Okay, let's see what's here. Not close, probably, is it? Yeah.
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Yeah. That's a shame I can't do any of this. Just use a disc.
Let's see if it works. It's open.
Is it? Oh, Cella.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? Great. Honey. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Use the right key. Use the left key. Pick both locks. Wow, 7 difficulty. Jeez. You're having a laugh.
drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Rini. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
What's that? Oh, there's something about the currents. Collector's coins.
The New Testament.
Okay, hell, I gotta read all of this. Fuck me. It's a lot of reading.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
Fucking hell, I'm not gonna read all of this.
I guess I'll just come back later.
It's a lot of reading.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
St. John, right? St. John. Okay, so St. John. Oh, there we go. Maybe that's where the 11 comes from the painting?
But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Okay.
You can read St. John the Apostle.
Yeah, I just did.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini.
Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Somebody touched this earlier.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini.
Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
It's a puzzle indeed.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Rini.
Another clue.
A fragment of amber.
Wow, I didn't even see that. Okay, so what's this guy again?
St. Paul painted by Guido Rini.
Okay, that was St. Paul. Okay, St. Paul and then something with an 11. St. Paul. St. Paul. Ah, there we go. Epistle to the Romans, I think it was. Oh, chapter 11, verse 11. That's maybe why it was like underlined twice.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
Oh, wait. A note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say?
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note.
To Paul.
I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
I know, man. I'm not religious. I'm guessing it's like this.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini.
Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Mm-hmm. Pick up the package, you know where. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Like, I don't know who the youngest apostle is.
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
Oh, thank you.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Follow the clues left by your mother in the Bible. Scrutinize the frame. What? Doesn't have a beard.
St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
But just because he's shaved, he's the youngest of them all. Fair enough.
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle?
Oh.
Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
I'm confused as fuck right now.
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle. That was...
Do me a favor and pay like attention if it's like out of syncs again. They fixed that last time, but I don't know. Okay.
I'm having trouble with Twitch. It keeps buffering, which means my connection's crap.
St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Was it like on the second day? On the second day he talked to his companion, 1 to the left and 2 to the right. I'm guessing that's what this is for or something?
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Is it like anything that's like... Maybe it's the clock or something? The clock.
There are burnt papers in the chimney.
No, I already read that, mate. I can't skip this. Fuck.
There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting.
Yes, yes.
She says,
Oh,
we must
balls.
find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Why can't I skip dialogue? It's really annoying. I was thinking I'd try to box with the code or some shit, but I guess not. Alright. Guess we'll have to fuck around with this thing. Think about the code. Think about the figures.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
So something about John on the second day. Fucking hell, this. The Gospel of St. John. Relation to John. Dude, I don't fucking know, man. This shit.
I guess I'll just come back later.
I guess you will. So it's a painting of a guy.
St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Okay, so we figured out he's the youngest one. Okay.
On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle, that was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
So the book of Revelations according to St. John. Okay. The book of Revelations. Book of Revelations according to St. John. I'm guessing it's like 1 and 3.
I and my Father are one.
Wait, what was written about the painting again?
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
So on the second day, the pilgrims...
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
So 1 to the left, 3 to the right, second day, prophecy of apostle, yeah, apostle, okay. So... actually apostles, St. John was the one I already read, right? Yeah. Alright. Back to the beginning. The book of Revelations, Revelations to John. John. Fuck me, man, I'm confused as shit right now.
I guess I'll just come back later.
I waited for your reply, getting behind the young apostle. What was the reply then?
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
So this is Paul then. So something about pilgrims and Paul. Exit the apostles. Go back. Maybe it's this thing. Plus also the Hebrews. This is fucking confusing as shit, dude. Revelation to Jean, maybe. I just don't know what the 1 and the 3 are supposed to mean.
I guess I'll just come back later.
I think I'm missing something.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
You have any idea, Maria?
You've looked at all the paintings, haven't you?
Yeah, I looked at them all. Like this one told me to read the Roman 1111 thingy, and then the Roman 1111 thingy got me to this painting.
Any paintings in the this room and the other room?
There's only one in the other room. This one over here.
No, I mean the one in the outside room.
What outside room?
This room here. This one you're going into.
What's this one?
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Two representations of the same paint. Examine the frame.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
No idea this. I mean, I can do this, and then I can do
Fierce
this.
opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles.
Ah, I think that was the one I recall. The account of this conversion can be found in the Galatians, Philippians, Corinthians, and Acts of the Apostles. So something with a 4. So 4 something. Okay. So 1, 3, 4, something like that. What's his name again? Acts of the Apostles.
John.
I think that was Paul, the other guy.
I think it's the Gospel according to St. John.
Paul 2, Philippians. Because that was the only one that. Okay, I think it's this one. Verse 4, chapter 8. Maybe?
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
To think people actually believe this shit, like, it's the most nonsensical mumble jumble I've ever heard. He walks in the dark with his eyes closed, thus it's dark. Yes, very wise. Thank you, Bible. It teaches me a lot.
Go to the Book of Revelation. Have you looked at that one yet?
I guess I'll just come back later.
Book of Revelations. Where do you see the Book of Revelations? Oh.
That's the epistles in the Book of Revelation.
John. Chapter 4, verse 13. That could be
Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
I feel like I might as well just read the entire fucking thing, man. Shit. So that was a Roman thing, and then I read this thing, and it was like, alright, cool. Galatians.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Yeah, let's check the other paintings then.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, fuck. Think about the group of pilgrims. Yeah, I can't do this because I don't have to find. Fuck it.
Group of pilgrims. If I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively
Wait, isn't
12
that
and
like,
14
Paul?
in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
6 and 7. The simple operation suggested that when we do new groups of 6 and 7. So you have to add 1 plus 3, so that's 7 and 10 then. So something with 7 and 10. Let me just check this shit as well then.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
Wow.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew. It says, count in the dust. Alright, let's do it.
Count in the dust. Ah, yeah, he means the dust on the paintings. Okay.
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. That's what the message in Hebrew spoke about. Hebrew 8.
Hebrew 8. No. It wasn't done yet.
No, nothing of value here.
Okay.
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
There's something with Hebrew and 8. Alright. Hebrew. Why did I see Hebrew before? And the Hebrews, verse 8, oh, there's 2 of them. Shit.
Thou hast put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him.
Most fake drivel I've ever heard.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Yeah, I already did that. Oh, these 2 bitches, couldn't you just like write a letter somewhere? Like, fuck me, dude. I would have just given up and gone home already. Fucking reading Bibles and shit.
guess I'll just come back later.
Yeah, still, okay. So we did this thing over here, and then they went and we did this thing over here, then we went to this thing over there, and now it's the other painting. Okay, oh, this is confusing as all shit.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus, by Caravaggio.
Do you see any pilgrims now? I'm just saying.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
I still don't know what that's about, the number 4.
Maybe you have to go and look at something you've looked at before, you know, like they keeps making you go backwards.
I just don't care anymore. Fuck his mom. Let's get the hell out of here. I mean, if you're gonna put the message like literally inside the book, like the dude's not listening, blah 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 blah, then Jesus Christ, just put it somewhere. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just, oh my god. It's like, I don't read the Bible, man. I don't know who these people are. Paul, John, whatever. Who gives a fuck? I don't even know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. Stop reading.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Fucking hell. Waiting your message. Apostles 2:2. So that was the 4 then, the 2:2. And then I had to find the Hebrew thing about the candles, and it's like 6:8, which I found miraculously. If that's impossible, it said we were in the side room where we hit the situation. When Paul understood that the only acts counted, he went back on his tracks. And with confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims, I have joined him. So Acts, Paul, and something was back on his tracks. So the Acts, unless he's St. Paul anywhere. Confused. No, I don't want to. Paul understood that only the Acts counted, and with your confirmation to his left in the company of the programs that joined him. So that's this thing over here, right?
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Half of each group will join
pilgrims. If I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
The drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Rini.
Matthew.
He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
I just don't see the pilgrim part. I'm really confused because all these paintings only have like one dude in it. So why the fuck are all these pilgrims? Unless they're like hiding underneath the thingies. Fuck, that could actually be it. Because it did say like this thing got touched.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini.
It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Yeah, so somebody touched it. So what's underneath it then? Alright, so something about Matthew. Let's say Matthew 9, 12, 22, 13, 2.
And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore.
When Paul understood that only the axe counted, I pocket you. Okay, so pistol Paul 1-2, pistol Romans. Okay, so that was this one over here, right? And you find this now, I'm afraid the code of the two groups going with this video. Pick up the package you know where and hide it when no one will find it. It's imperative for when you buy anywhere until you suppose so. And then we did this too, right? Expel Paul, there's some complications, you need to brush it into assistant what's happening on your right, you need help. The fuck? What's this thing? Think about the code. Oh,
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Should be 710, right? And then I make 710, so I can hit them with 710 anywhere. 711? Was it 711? No, it's supposed to be 710. For the chapter verse thingy 10. Let's see anything with 7 anywhere. 710, 710, 710. Nope. I don't see anything with a
Go back
710.
to pieces of Paul half.
Did you Google this?
No. Don't think you've. I can't see if you've looked at.
I'm just trying to find something with a 7 and a 10, because that's... One to the
Chapter 1
left,
verse
2 to the
7.
right. I give up. What? What did you say?
Nothing. I just thought you were talking about 7. There was a chapter 1 verse 7.
I just don't understand like how we started on that one, and then it gave us that one, and then I still don't understand like how the fuck we got to where we are now. It's like pick up the package. There's some complication. I did the process assistance. Depression. So I need help. Do you need help? So her answer is found. When Paul understood that only acts counted, he went back on his tracks. Wait, who the fuck is Paul again? Is it this dude? Oh, that's Matthew, right?
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew,
Okay.
painted by Guido Rini. He's represented as writing the
Yeah,
word
dude,
of
can I
the
just
Lord,
like skip this already?
transmitted by the Holy
Times.
Spirit, who
An
appears
object
here
you're
in the
looking for
guise
now,
of an
isn't it,
angel.
though?
It's the answer to what the other bitch written. Like now it's like the Paul understood confirmation to his left in the company of the pilgrims that joined him. I don't know which one is Paul. Is this Paul?
St. Paul, painted by Guido Rini.
Spirit.
Yeah, so 2 faces of the same saints. He's not an evangelist. To go to secret code. You can't use that. Sum up the information from the painting. I should take that.
Strange. St. Paul is shown twice, unlike the other disciples. Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle. So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But What's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with a figure, maybe?
That's like literally the same fucking thing, man. What the fuck? Alright, so something with Paul and 11. Okay. And invisible Paul. Something with 11 in it. Okay. There's no 11 here. There's no 11 here. I don't even know like, which one to find. St. John, Matthew, Matthew the Apostle. So it's a lot of that's the pilgrim thing then, I guess. Kinda. Yeah, I don't see anything with it unlocked though. So the Romans. Yeah, chapter and verse 11:11. That's what I did before.
Dear
right?
E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
So that's where that painting led us. Led us to this. And then I have to go over here. Okay. What do I know about this apostle? Okay, obviously I can't do that. So we know he's the youngest one.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Okay.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies? On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
I have no idea. There's something with John and a 1 and a 3. Gospel according to St. John. I mean, I would think like the second day would be this thing. Just 1 maybe?
Paul and Silvanus and Timotheus unto the church of the Thessalonians, which is in God the Father and in the Lord Jesus Christ. Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ.
Beautiful. This maybe?
I and my Father are one.
What?
I swapped to my PC.
That's why you're like low as fuck again.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Like, okay. So this painting over here, the 11:11, that gives us like the yeah. They find the note of youngest apostle. I just don't know how the hell we went from the apostle to the 2-2. I think I just did that by blind fucking luck. The Hebrews. Oh no, the Hebrews was over here. So we went from here to the Hebrews. That was the thing it was for. So Paul understood that only the X count and he went back on his tracks. So that's the 2 paintings we already figured out. That one and that one. So we need to figure out this one and that one. Those are the only 2 we haven't found yet. Look at the frame, I don't know.
There's something else behind this painting.
It says half of each group
will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
It's a shame I don't know what the fuck Corinth is. Corinthians, maybe, I guess.
Pilgrims, if I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
It's just a box I can't open. So it's Corinthians, I need them. So Matthew, Corinthians. Something about the Corinthians. Um, 6, 7. Ah.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
Ah, look. Here's a message.
It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them.
And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Okay, so we've done that one, we've done that one. I think the thing with this one, you're supposed to start here.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust has built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
Yeah, so we went ahead of each other.
We did it in the wrong order.
Yeah, we did the wrong order, that's why we got all fucking confused. When Paul understood that only the X counted, he went back on his tracks. With confirmation to his left in the company of the pilgrims that joined him. Something on his left here?
Oh, go to the left of the painting.
I can't hear you. Way too low. Isn't this Paul as well?
Painting of St. Mark
Oh,
from the
Saint
collection
Mark.
of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Is that the one I needed? To the left?
No, nothing of value here.
Sure.
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Something about Mark. Ah, yeah. Okay, I get it. So that was the first painting we did. And then they sent us to that one. What? That was behind the young apostle. I'm confused.
Oh, I see. It's underneath the lamp.
There's nothing here about the lamp. I'm trying to figure out like what fucking order you're supposed to do this in. I'm glad you found this note. Okay, good. So the youngest apartment. I don't. Chapter 6 and 7. Watch out the Prussian. Yeah, the Prussian is insistent. Okay, then you top. Paul understood that only the X counted. He went back on his tracks. To his left in the company of the pilgrims that joined him. I still don't know what the fuck this thing did. Cause this thing didn't do fuck all, so I'm guessing like we're missing a message. And there's on the table near the youngest guy. You mean this thing over here?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Pliny.
I can't hear you
Looks
again.
like someone touched this commode
I
recently.
already told you 2 times.
There are
I can't
fingerprints on
hear
the
you.
sheets and in the dust.
Under the table. No, I think you just see it like this from this angle. It's probably why you think there's something on the table. Yeah. Just trying to think, like, you're supposed to start there. Okay, so we did that painting, we did that painting, and we did that painting. I think we're supposed to do this one second. So you do the Paul thing, then you're supposed to do this guy, then you do the Paul thing again, then the other thing. So I'm on the step Paul and the axe counted. And then back on his tracks. Oh wait, just left. So it's all Paul by the looks of it. Went back on his tracks. On the axe counted. So fucking hell is that? Axe. And Paul stood on the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. Anyway, confirmation to his left and the company of fragments that joined him. Is that what the 4 means?
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
I feel it would be faster just to read the entire fucking book. Jesus.
I guess I'll just come back later.
That's why I'm confused. Like, the order doesn't make any sense. Like, you start here. So this is the first fucking painting you see. You learn fuck off on the painting. Apart from that there's a 4 written on it.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Okay, so yeah, Damascus. Okay, so you
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
I know this.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
So yeah, Paul, Damascus, 4. It's like the only thing you learn from this, pretty much. There's nothing here. Echoing. So Paul to yeah, it's a very nice motorcycle you have there, you faggot. Damascus. I don't even know what the fuck Damascus is, to be honest. This is so fucking annoying. I mean, it's not even a puzzle. Like, I could just click every fucking thing and eventually I'll find the answer, but it's just like... fucking morons are these bitches. Like, just hide a piece of paper somewhere. Fuck me, dude. I mean, there's scribbling in this fucking book anyway, so what the hell does it matter? Like, how are you? I'm fine. What happened? This happened. Okay, wonderful. See you later. Bye. Fuck around with paintings and Bibles and shit. Make shit like overly complicated for no fucking reason.
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
Yeah, thank you. It's very helpful. I find it. Chapter 4 verses 8.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, Whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever
Oh, get on
things
with it,
are
man.
of good
Fucking hell,
report,
dude.
if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
The Bible really is filled with a bunch of shit, isn't it? Fucking hell, dude. Pastoral John. There has to be something with this John dude over here. And I still don't understand why. Like something with a 1 and a 3. So I'm guessing it's this or something?
Hereby know that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he hath given us of his Spirit.
Okay, that's not it. So what the fuck is up with this John dude? Something with a 1 and a 3 unit. Or 6 and a 6, 1 and a 4. 1 and a 3 and a 6, whatever. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. Major confirmation to his left, and the company of the pilgrims had joined him. I can't hear you. Seriously, like, how many times? Oh, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Who's saying what?
I guess I'll just come back later.
Okay, so this is Matthew, and that's also Paul, right? So to the left, so it's this. Something hidden under the bed? No. Table? No. To his left? No. This is
St.
Paul,
Paul,
right?
painted
Yes.
by Guido Reni.
Two faces of the same face.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
There's something with 13 then, I guess. Anything with 13 in this bitch? 13, no. 13, no. What the painting in the first room?
I guess I'll just come back later.
I mean, check this. It's just Damascus. It's a beautiful painting. Number 4. So basically, like you open the room and you start here. Well, you don't have to start here, I guess, but then you get the Epistle to the Romans because it has like 11 with 2 underscores. Then you find the note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrim would mislead you. Ah, wait, what? Why would that mislead me though? I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrim. The man with the sword. Yeah, okay, yeah, you get this first. You read that thingy first, and then you find the man with the sword. Who's the man with the sword then? Yeah, that's the guy with the sword, so you start here. So from the chimney, you go over here, because that's the guy with the sword. Then you get the notes. I was afraid this two groups of pilgrims would mislead you? Why would it mislead me? Like, it's the first thing I read, right?
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid to go to the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. She doesn't even mention like two groups of pilgrims now. And it's like the only guy holding a sword. This guy's holding a book. This guy's holding a pen. There's only one guy with a sword, so you go from there. Not over here, because this guy's not even holding a sword, he's holding a spear. Yeah, I'm just trying to retrace my steps. I just don't understand. I was afraid this code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. She doesn't even mention it. You get the guy with the sword, so you automatically come here, because this is the only guy with the sword. Okay, you get 1111. Okay, so you go to the book, pick up the package, young apostle. Okay, good. So you go on the young apostle. Like, we're missing the reply. Like, the thing that's hidden behind the young apostle. Put the painting left of the bed. What, this one? This is what you mean. Pretty sure I checked them all.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Oh, look at the frame.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
Okay, inspect the surroundings. Check behind the painting. I did that already. The candlestick
No,
I did as well.
nothing of value here. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Yeah, and I did that as well. Here's where the coin was. I got that as well.
There are finger marks.
Yeah, that's the 8.
Deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. That's what the message in Hebrew spoke about. Hebrew 8.
Yeah, so that was the Hebrew 8. And this is like, who's this fuck again? Paul or something? John?
Painting of St. Mark
Okay,
from the
St.
collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
But it's this Mark Hebrew 8. Okay. So, after I read this, I went to the book. Then I got the Mark guy. What the fuck is? Yes, Mark. No. Is it Mark? St. Mark, what was it again? 8?
Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
Yeah, the Hebrew, and then you had verse 8, it's chapter 8, so you had both of them. I think
There
I
are
took
some
this
complications. Indeed,
I already
the
got
Prussian
this
is
message.
insistent.
Yeah, I already got the
What's
message.
happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him.
I
Yeah,
don't think you can
this
find
last
anything
comment
else
is about their
I
code.
can't hear you.
I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Okay, so, like I keep saying. No, I don't. Because they just write this all that either I missed something in the beginning or it's just shitty writing. Because she says like, okay, find a dude with a sword. Okay, so you find a dude with the sword, because that's this stupid fuck with his sword here. Then you read the shit and it's like 11:11, and that's how you find the first message. The epistles to Paul 1:2, the Romans, because it actually says it on the paintings. He's talking to Romans apparently. Chapter 11:11. So you're happy you found this note, blah 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 blah. So that's the mother writing the note, and then you get the second one, the Corinthians thing. That's the mother writing again, and then yeah, the second one. Like we're missing a message. She's awaiting your reply, hiding behind the youngest apostle. And there's something here that I'm missing. This dude. And it's probably because I don't have this. Because there is a code.
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
The second day apostle, 1 to the left, 3 to the right, and then you think about the codes, and you think about the figures.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
Yes. So it's the one that this guy was talking to, the Paul. So it's the yeah, the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. So there's something with the John guy that we need to find. I mean, maybe we don't need to find, but that's the one that we skipped. I don't know, it's like this is the second day or whatever, fuck, pilgrims, whatever. Like, who was Paul talking to the Romans, right? So... Wait, what? That's the thing you got, and it was like on the side, and then I take it back. The Gospel according to St. John, so it's like... I thought it was this, the 10:30. Apparently it's not that.
Now, there is a Jerusalem by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches.
Oh, Bethesda. Yeah, I did. I did the Hebrew thingy. 12, 14, 14.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
I
guess I'll just come back later.
I really don't get the John one. I really don't get this one. I just don't understand the order. I don't understand how this bitch is like, oh, trust your faith in a man with a sword, and then you go over here. Oh, I thought the group pilgrims would mislead you. What group of pilgrims?
St. Paul painted by Guido Rini. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting, and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean?
Yeah, that means the Romans 11:11, which is the first thing we did. The code with the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. I just don't know what the fuck that is. Unless it's like something that we're not supposed to know. It's like a code of the 2 pilgrims between each other. So the 6 and the 7. This is the only painting that mentions pilgrims at all. Is there anything on the thing?
There's something else behind this painting.
Yeah, that's the
It
code.
says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? A group of pilgrims, if I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
12 and 14 in the last painting. Like, what fucking painting? Where's there? Yeah, I know. We already did that fucking part. This is the Epistles of Paul 1-2. The thing. Chapter 6, verse 7. We already did that. I don't know what the fuck this guy comes up with like 12 and 14 apostles. Yes, I know, dear. We already did that. I know. Corinthians, what was it? 1, 2. Yeah, Corinthians, there you go. 6, 7.
It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail.
I just don't understand, like,
I'll leave it to you to organize
where the fuck he comes up with 12 and 14
I'm unable
apostles.
to do it. In the
Unless
meantime,
it's like a Bible thing.
I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them.
Can I just skip
And
this
that
shit?
first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Oh my god, am I that fucking moronic? No, I can't be that fucking stupid, can I? I am that fucking stupid, I think.
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you.
The fucking thing.
Pick up the package.
Yeah.
You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative.
I think
Awaiting
I know
a reply.
where we fucked up.
Hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
I think they mentioned the apostles in the fucking thing that we're reading. That's so fucking gay. So there's 6 and 7, so that means 5 and 4, something John with a 5 and a 4, I think. 5 and a 2 could be as well.
Now, there's
Oh,
a
we already
Jerusalem
checked that
by
one.
the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches.
Beautiful. Pool with 5 porches. So fucking interesting. These guys. Could be that. 6, 7, so that's either 5, 4 or 3, 6. Book of Revelations. Let me see Book of Revelations. This 5, 12. 5, 12. 5, 12. 5, 12. 5, 12. I think we're supposed to start with two books of pilgrims. There was what, 12, 14? 12, 14, 12, 14.
And the woman was given 2 wings
That's
of a
gonna be
great
the one.
eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note.
Called it.
Folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
That's why we fucked up. Like, we read the messages, but we didn't remember like how many apostles were mentioned in the message.
Is that one over there? It's an angel with him, isn't it?
We already did that part. So like this thing over here, when you probably read it, you probably mentioned like, I don't know, 12, 14 apostles. So you go read this over here. I don't remember like which one it was. The John thing that I just checked. Let me check. What was it again? Replacement to John. The 12, 14 thing, yeah. So it's 11:11 plus 1:13. So 11:11 plus the chapter, and then here you do plus 1 plus 3, so you get the revelation to John. That's 12:14, and then that is divided by 2, 6, 7, and now you can probably get the fucking thing.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Ah, you know why we didn't figure this out? Because we did the first thing, the 11 and the 11, and then we went straight to that painting over there, the 6 and the 8. So we went from there to there. And we're supposed to go from there to this, to there I think, and then to there. And now she's telling us to go to there, and now we can probably fuck around with this.
Several
bit.
portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni.
Oh yeah, this we should.
It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are
Okay.
fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
This Am I missing something? That's Mark, right? Like when Paul understood on the Axe counter, he went back on his tracks. Because like the notes is doing it in order, but we weren't doing it in order. We basically went like 1, 3, 4, 2, which completely messed up our shit. Okay, so now I don't even know how many fucking puzzles we have. I'm guessing 6, 8. He went back on his tracks. Back as in back to 6, 7. In the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, because it's Paul, so it has to be this guy. Like the only thing that says the only actually went back on his track, so yeah, maybe we should read this thing then.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his savior.
It's been a while since I've been stuck in the game for this fucking long.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it.
Yeah, number 4
Well,
is
a
on
finger
this.
has drawn a number in the thin layer of
That's
dust.
number 4, get on with it.
I can read the number 4.
Jesus. I wish you could skip this.
St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
I don't know. I mean, there's nothing here. That I can find at least. When Paul understood on the Axe counter, he went back to on his track, so with confirmation to his left in the company of the pilgrims that joined. Why is there a 4 on this one then? 13th apostle, 413 maybe? It's Paul, right? On the Axe counter, he went back on his tracks. Yeah, there is.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Shit. Shit. The Axe, okay. So we went back on his tracks. Okay, Axe of the Apostle. Back on his tracks. Which means 6, 11. Should be 6, 12.
Then they suborned men, which said, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God."
Has to be like one of these.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to Eve.
I already found it.
We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare.
Yeah, I get it. So it was 6, 8 back on his tracks. You had to go to the first painting, and it says like to the left, the number there, you had to add to the left one, so that means 6 plus 8 is 6 plus 4 is 10, 10, 8. Okay, wonderful. Jesus Christ.
What does she mean by that?
You're just writing the lettering. It's probably neutral. It's probably allegorical.
I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means.
Can't hear you.
Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know. did not understand my mother's message. I could have searched more another correspondence. Okay. Wow, didn't even level up. Shit. Tragic fate. Fucking hell. I still don't understand why we spent almost like 2 hours figuring this shit out. Fuck me, dude. That's one chapter. Yeah, I think this guy could use more logic, to be honest. Good shit.
It's time I went back and
What are all these things doing anyways? Apprentice. Experience increased by 5.
and everyone in the small salon.
Just sit down. I can't get anything there. Meet with the other guests in this more small. Okay, I really need like honey and shit.
You are expected in the small salon, sir. You are expected in the small salon, sir.
I wish I could punch him. The small salon. I don't even know where the fuck that is, man. Shit. Is it downstairs? I think it's...
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
So this is the one I've been talking to. Logic and psychology. It's big firm did it, you know what I'm saying? Ask her to go beyond nightmare.
I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
Yeah.
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Let me check something, because this thing is fucking... dropped frames. Why am I dropping frames? Is it like laggy or anything, Harry? OBS keeps saying I'm dropping frames for some reason. That's 30 minutes ago. Okay. That's right. Check something. Okay, I completely missed. What did I say? Is it about her mother shooting her sister or something? Help me, Harry. I missed it. What was it? Yeah. Okay. My bad. Well,
I better keep that to myself for the time being.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
sometimes you just gotta be quiet.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest. But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And what has Monsieur Peru done to once again provoke someone's anger?
We don't really know just yet.
I get the feeling it won't be long before it gets out.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined.
What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear.
Oh, as if it... Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous. Bastard. He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Yeah, okay, I'll just...
Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Immune to etiquette. A favorite of King Charles IV of Spain.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
We found traces of her that would indicate she's still on the island.
Her personal belongings?
Yes, but nothing of great interest. Scraps of food, some clothes...
Ah, I see. Well, too bad. I shan't keep you, Monsieur de Richet.
All right then. Thank you.
Fuck.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon. I must go now. I'll see you later.
Shit. Just use this thing for nothing.
All right. I've retrieved everything. Hey, these look like pages taken from an ancient encyclopedia.
Oh, nice. I have an encyclopedia in here. Very nice, very nice. And I want coins. I want stuff to drink and stuff.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
That's French for yes.
Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Oh man, I can't get any answers out of anybody because I don't have any action points. No.
There are some rumors about his loose morals.
Juste, monsieur. Add to that his devouring ambition, if you want my opinion. Playing at Loverboy rather than gaining merit for his career. It's a disgrace for any soldier.
I understand your point of view. Does expression go beyond the nightmare mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed.
That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
I don't think they had Facebook back in those days, man. I guess we're going to the library. Hell yeah. Oh, is there something here? Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. Ah, more servants to torment.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
What is that thing called again? That's the water. That's the torrents. Golden elixir.
You wouldn't have a little golden elixir I could use, would you?
Oh, unfortunately, sir, I have orders not to give any of that medicine to any of Lord Mortimer's guests. Some guests are here to follow a very strict treatment. Mixing or combining certain substances would be dangerous for sir.
I don't remember like how the hell you're... I got the pun, man. I answered your pun with another stupid one. I just don't know like how the fuck I'm supposed to get my things back. That mojo. Oh, very nice painting. Very nice. Okay, so there's no way to get my stuff back. Rip. Talk to this guy over there. Okay, so I can go upstairs and stuff. Let me talk to George Washington.
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see. Everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Be happy.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but... Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You've caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
Fade to black and repeat. I guess we're going... Oh, I think I've been here before. Aha. Oh, sweet. Colorite water, just what I wanted. This game really runs like ass sometimes. Jesus. Okay, I already opened that box. Open this one as well. Yep. So there's no free shit to get anymore. Right, Jesus.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the Order would have intervened.
Your Eminence, I haven't been following the case. I'm sure that the Order did everything in its power. Unfortunately, you know the situation in Paris, and, well, it's chaotic at best. Anything can happen in those revolutionary tribunals.
The king is the official representative of God on earth, my son.
Your Eminence, France has become a secular state. The king was just another citizen to them. He refused to admit his errors, looked down upon them, and attempted to escape. What did he expect?
France has lost all reason, Louis.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
It's true, there's much said about him.
For better and for worse. But that is a prerogative of power, it would seem.
His close ties with the Queen unfortunately sully her government.
Fortunately, we are not men to take heed of such gossip, are we?
Of course not, Your Eminence.
What a disgrace, nonetheless, for the king.
I can only imagine.
If I were to officiate at the court of Spain, believe me, I would speak out. She is of Bourbon lineage. By God's grace, she has a duty toward her blood.
What can we expect, Your Eminence? Everything gets lost over the years. I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Well, I mean, if it were a place or an object found on this island, what would you think of first?
The nightmare. No, I don't see anything. I'm sorry.
Well, that's too bad.
Ah, wait. I suppose it might be that horrible painting hanging in Lord Mortimer's study.
Pretend not to be that interested. Right. Well, don't worry about it. I was just curious. Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
And fade to black. And we're ready to go. Wait, aren't I supposed to go to the library? How are you supposed to get like up the other steps then? Because I don't see any doors. That's Cal.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Okay.
Honey, the remedy of the gods.
Oh, thank Lord. We found some honey. This is how the hell you get there then? I have no idea where I'm going now. I don't know if this is this library or whatever. Study. Oh, wasn't this a study? Yeah. I guess not. Wait a second. That's weird. Yeah, I don't think this is where I'm supposed to go. Okay, looks like I need to go. Locksmith's art.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
This is the right key. It's the left key. I can't actually open that up, but I do know I should. Okay, I can't open it. I just need one of these. I can open this thing up here.
A fragment of amber.
Oh, shouldn't have used that. So, it's not over here. Okay, so over here. I'm guessing it's over here. Yes.
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Van Volner. Okay, so I'm guessing it's up here. Yep, okay, good.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
A coin. Oh, I can't use any of these anymore.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
R-A-S-N. Uncles. Fuck, dude, I don't know. First letter C. Second letter A. Third letter E. Fourth letter L. I don't know. No idea. Oh, it's a parrot thing again. Okay, I think over here.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Good for you.
The Book of the Mortimer family. The Book of the Mortimer family.
Ah, I guess he doesn't want to read this. Okay, something up there on the floor. It's probably another coin. Key with all cold waters.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight? when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form. Charming.
Very. I do remember like seeing a chest somewhere that had a water symbol on it, but I don't really know what the hell it was. I feel I'm gonna kill the bird if I don't expect this. Okay, I'm gonna wait because I don't want to kill this fucking thing.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it.
Guido Paletti. Part of my private collection, I put it to Freemason's calendar. This time, so I guess you remember to subtract 4,000 years if you don't want the public to be surprised at the dating of the works. No need to remind you that the Freemason year begins in March, not January. Hope is paid to live to have the spirit touched up. I feel like this is like a hint or something. So 4,000 years begins in March, not January. Okay. Wow. 8,156 pounds of food. Jesus. What should we do this for the next year?
Let's take a closer look.
Most food nowadays.
These chocolates are probably a protocol gift. Everybody in Europe loves them nowadays. Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France, has her own personal chocolate maker at Versailles. They say it's her guilty little morning ritual before getting dressed. A cup with 1 sugar and some vanilla, if I remember rightly. I would be surprised if Mortimer has them delivered straight from South America.
Okay, take one of this.
Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Oh, it's a birdie.
A mina bird. Well, Waldo, is your master good? Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah?
This thing's retarded or something. Alright, let's put it out of this misery. Wanna bet the bird's gonna die?
That'd come in handy.
Oh, I could just feed it chocolate. Oh, I should totally feed it chocolate.
A mina bird.
Isn't like chocolate deadly to birds? I'm pretty sure it's deadly to birds. Or is it dogs? One of the two. Guess we're killing the birds, man.
Looks like it killed him. Shit. I better not hang around.
Oh, God. It's pretty funny. Oh, shit. Oh, you poor thing, bro. Fucking hell. Why would you give a bird chocolate, you fucking retard? Oh. Oh, fuck. I don't know why that's funny. That poor fucking thing.
It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Yeah, you should probably get the fuck out of there anyways. I'll jump down here with me and find the nightmare. Oh, that was hilarious. Jesus. It's just sleeping.
A family ancestor, apparently.
Interesting.
A painting about a siege, dated.
Interesting.
The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere.
I wonder, is it the lock on the desk?
No, what have we got here? Oh, it looks like a model.
Oh,
a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes.
Oh, fucking hell. That's this thing I want to click on. Oh, it's really that simple.
Aha! I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Alright, I can just...
It's a complex mechanism. Looks like the third ring is a bit seized up. It gets stuck on number 9.
Gets stuck on number 9, so one of them is number 9 then I'm guessing. Like a clue, so anyway. Okay. 1792. Okay, maybe it's done. It's like 7.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
So this would be like a date somewhere, I guess.
A painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre. The Siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre was a major conflict during the Third Crusade. Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus fought to take the town back. It was the Crusaders' first operation to take back the Kingdom of Jerusalem.
But there was a date on it. Yeah, fair enough.
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anno Lucis, 5,190. That's a funny date.
Ah, 5,190, right? Okay, so it's 190 then. Okay. This has to be 0. This has to be 1. Okay. 1, and then this has to be a 1 as well, I think.
Doesn't work, damn it. I really thought I was close. 1,190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4,000? I must have missed a subtlety.
Yeah, the March and January thing.
William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Anno Lucis, 5,190. That's a funny date.
So I have to add a year, I guess? Because it starts in March, so that means it's 51, right? Bam, homie!
Open sesame.
This one makes sense, man. Fucking reading Bibles for an hour and a half. Fucking hell.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Mortimer.
Dear Lord Mortimer, fantastic the first plague they come across, which depends on the spot that run away. Wow. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a map of Africa.
Moreover, it shows a fair number of sea voyages being organized towards the American continent. No doubt with slaves. How many men are broken in this trade? Tens of thousands each year, according to what people say.
My lord, I hope this letter will reach you. My hours are numbered. Everything has a look after this initial book.
Honey, the remedy of the gods. Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in. And goes on, there are hundreds of good ways to live life, but you only need one to convince the masses that it's the only one possible. The author isn't letting any ethical principles get in his way, is he?
Gift has been delivered. King of Afghanistan.
Some of those forces are pushing toward the west. On it, Mortimer's placed little feather symbols at different points, toward which the Spanish are headed. Could he be fueling Indian resistance to slow down Spain?
Sarah's men have been fought against the Spanish in the conquest of Oran. Should buffer myself as I Charlotte. Wow, started the plague and shit. There's a lot of fucking stuff over here. King George.
It looks like a campaign is being prepared in France in favor of Italy. Could Mortimer have decided to finance a war?
Dude's got some mad connections.
It's locked.
Plans to intervene in Belgium or to go ahead and sit down. Wow. Keep the Austrians out of Belgium.
A fine-looking map of the Orient, indeed.
Ignore the Persians from the Russians. Some Illuminati shit going on here. Let's see if you have the courage to face me alone.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Alright. One step closer to solving the mystery. Oh my god, there's a lot more shit in here as well.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
Those immune to science. Okay. Key with an occult fire symbol.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire. Great. Honey.
The Coinage Act has been voted. The First Bank of America. It is still the line to begin in October. Okay. Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, this guy's up to no good.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve. That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. Three rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais. Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Read the draw. I can't do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of these.
It is a typical draw in a line that answers a specific question. To the left, Temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the Chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the Emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Okay. Good stuff. The tiger is dying. There's like so much stuff in here. Oh, fucking hell. The free book. De Humani Corporis Fabrica.
Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies. Here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then?
It's immune to science as well. None other than the king of the gods, of course. Like his father Kronos. He reigns but does not dominate. Okay. Took one of my own invention. The judgment of fate, because if a snooper is unable to resist opening it, they will be punished. Okay. The very dangerous lock.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh, his right hand is missing.
Oh no.
These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. Strange. I don't recognize the alphabet. I wonder where the pictograms are from. It isn't Egyptian or Hebrew. There are two inscriptions on the sides as well as on the top. No way to know what's underneath. Absolutely no idea what it's for, but I find this cube fascinating. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton.
Oh, what the fuck? Alright, but
Preservation using formaldehyde.
Just as disgusting as ever.
Okay, a bunch of shit.
An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Okay. Lots of stuff. This.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
I think we clicked on everything here. So I'm guessing we have to find a way to open this thing over here.
It's locked.
Go find your mother. I can't go this way anymore, right?
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Okay, so I'm stuck in here. Okay, I think I read all of this. So I need to find a way to open this thing over there.
Something strange about this table. The little surgeon's perfect collection.
Yeah, these are the signs we already know that. What are the nails on it?
3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Okay, I guess we're stuck again.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
I mean, I could open this, to be honest. I just don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, okay, it's just all. I'm guessing we have to go out this way. I don't see a lock anywhere though. So I'm guessing there's like a mechanism or whatever. Maybe it's something to do with this. Ah, the FPS in this game. What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Oh dearie me. I may be stuck in here for quite a while, don't I?
Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais.
I wonder where I'm supposed to find the other guy's hand, because that's why the letter is like right next to it. It's difficult to imagine how it all fits together, but we'll be located in the middle of the prison door. It is difficult to imagine how it all fits together, but it will be located in the middle of the present door. The aim to be on the space, depending on the lineup of the windows. The will open or punch the snap of his face is not strong enough. Mr. Guillotine. Because if a snooper is unable to resist opening it, they will be punished. Wait, what? Because if a snooper is unable to resist opening it, they will be punished. So you don't open it, I guess. Depending on the lineup of the wheels, the aforementioned lock will open or will punish the snooper whose fate is not strong enough. Okay, that's just fucking weird.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh, his right hand is missing.
Needs to be missing more than a right hand. Am I missing? Alright, the rest are just letters. There's a chest here. I'm guessing that maybe I should find another key as well.
That must be for writing the home pigeon messages. Look,
yeah,
a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Shows over the magic, so this is something with, just not a point. Formaldehyde. Nothing in it, but it looks good. There is actually something in there.
It's locked.
Okay, it's locked. Where is it locked though? Because I don't see a lock anywhere. It's laggy here for some reason, I don't know why. Ah. Wait. It's not the same code? What is it, like one? Oh shit. Oh dear. I'm gonna die.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Think about the lock, think about the shape of the cylinders. I already did that though, didn't I?
It looks like the same as the one on the other side.
I'm gonna die, aren't I?
Whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. It doesn't seem to be working.
So I'm gonna get stuck and he's gonna find out I'm here and I don't know. Gonna get told off or whatever. I mean, it has to be another date, right? Changed your old one for one of mine function. Dry expression, induction, not option, never expression, prototype. Judgment of fate. Because if the snooper is unable to resist opening it, they will be punished. trying to think of a date somewhere. That's like 4 letters in it. Yeah, fuck it. It's the worst that can happen. So this is 1. This is 9. Oh, for fuck's sake, did I just miss it again? 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. What? Oh, the things are different as well. 1191, I think that was it, right?
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Think about the lock. Yeah, that's fine.
It looks too easy. It could be a trap.
Yeah, I do think it's a trap actually.
The mechanism passes through the wall. The wheels are the same on both sides. Chances are the combination I used on the other side works on this side too.
It was 1191, right? Yeah. Oh, this is gonna suck.
Wheels are stuck. Shit! I'm cornered like a rat.
Okay, I fucked up. He's not gonna find his way out. He's gonna starve to death.
Someone's coming. Please don't let it be Mortimer. Who is it?
Deliberately avoiding me. 4 years ago I was his favorite, but nowadays I have to ask for an audience with his lordship.
Damn it! It's Peru. I don't know if I should, but
Well, that's it. I've had enough of being humiliated.
I'm wasting my time here.
After everything I've done on his behalf, he dares treat me like a lackey? I've bled the Parisian elite for the sake of his whims, and what have I got to show for it? Doesn't even have the courtesy to give me 5 minutes of his time. I wanted to put my mind at ease. Well, that's done. I know what I've got to do now.
I must find my mother. So much for discretion.
Monsieur Peru, it's me, Monsieur de Riche.
What the devil is going
I
on?
need your help.
Where are you, de Riche?
Behind the painting. Open it, please. I've shut myself in. There's a pedal under Lord Mortimer's desk. Can you see it?
There's no... Hang on. Yes.
Good. Now press it.
Yeah. Done.
You should see something resembling a frame with numbers. Yes? You have to turn them to set the combination.
Was it 1191? I think it was 1191.
1191.
Well. Poking our nose into Mortimer's little secrets, are we?
I just realized what the fuck I fucked up.
It's not what you're thinking. I'll explain everything.
No, you will not.
Oh, the fucking code is mirrored. Right? It's mirrored, right? So it should have been 1911. Oh, fucking hell, that's fucking stupid.
Sir, it has nothing to do with me, and by the way, I never even saw you. So, I'll be on my way now.
Thanks again.
I'm indebted to you. I won't forget this.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Oh, tough guy. Well, since I didn't get caught, I guess.
I've wasted enough time. I better get moving if I want to find my mother.
This game really runs like ass sometimes.
This painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period.
Yes. Find out the origin of the sword by your mother. So that means I need to go outside. He misses his mommy. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna stop it here because I really need to get some food in me before the ride. So I failed, did not get any information on the fun world now. I poisoned Waldo, the bird, and poisonous. I wonder if I'm actually gonna get caught for this. Oh, I think my level 7. Ah, so now I can tell. I am definitely gonna take this. Take this as well. I can take diversion, or I can take conviction or linguistics. Let's take linguistics. 3 manuscripts. God damn. 1 science, 1 linguistics. Oh yeah. Take this as well. Diversion, etiquette, or science. I'm gonna take science. Alright.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. Alright, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
Alright. Finish this another time, people. That was exciting. I love it. Just wish we didn't spend like 2 hours trying to fuck around with those paintings. Oh, because that almost made me quit the fucking game. Well, anyways. I'm gonna get some food, so I'll see you guys for the raid tonight. Hey, take care.